What up, doe? What up, doe? What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. We are back at it again with another episode of 411 Lions. Of course, you got two hosts here, same people that y'all always have. One of these days, we got to throw somebody like a co-host or somebody in there with us, or like a guest.
Somebody mine.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll chat about that. But yeah, of course, welcome back. We're back with another episode. And of course, there are a lot of things going on, a lot of things going on. So we'll get into that in just a second. But of course, if you didn't know, my name is King Keith. You can follow me on Instagram at _ Dr. King Stream. Same on Twitter. I'll hand it over to my co-host now.
What up, dude? It is your girl CB. You can follow us on anywhere you get your podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can also follow us on TikTok to find clips of the episodes. Obviously, it's not going to be the whole episode on TikTok, but if you like what you see on the clips, you can follow us on TikTok at 411 Lions, and then you can switch over and follow us on anywhere you get your podcasts. So let's get started.
Yeah. So what's going on, CB? What's been going on in Lions world?
All right, so the Lions have played 2 preseason games already. The first game we played was against the Chargers. I believe you lost, 34-7.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the game against the Falcons, which I don't know if that's is that gonna count? I know it's a forfeit technically.
Yeah.
Because of the injury.
Yeah.
Oh, so it will count as a win. I thought it was kind of like a forfeit or a tie or something.
Nah, I think it counts as a win for the Lions.
Okay, so the Lions won that game. Obviously, that game was cut short with Maurice Norris having that scary injury. I believe it was the late third quarter.
Early fourth
quarter. Yeah, early fourth quarter. So both teams just decided to take a knee just to end the game because, I mean, it's only preseason. Players were upset, so, yeah, they just wanted to take a knee on that one. But I guess we can go into the first game of what we saw against Trey Lance's Chargers.
Yeah. And I mean, we can kind of condense it too if we want to talk about both games, because I feel like similar trends, I think, are kind of being seen. Obviously, the biggest thing that is going on that people want to see, at least when it comes to football and in general with the Lions, is the quarterback position. And the quarterback position has been receiving probably the most amount of conversation from the preseason games. The expectation, of course, was that we see some improvement from Hendon Hooker, but also Kyle Allen was signed, and Kyle Allen has played in the NFL. Not a ton, but he's played before, and he is kind of more of a veteran quarterback, I guess you could say. And so, obviously, the look is like, okay, well, what are we going to get from either one of these guys? Is somebody going to stand out? Are they both going to kind of look mid? You don't really know. And after the first game, it looked like, I think everybody was like, okay, well, I think we need to go and get another backup quarterback at this point, because neither player played particularly well. Kyle Allen had some moments where he moved the ball. The ball did move with Kyle Allen at some points, but he threw a couple of interceptions that were a little bit iffy. One of them, Tesla kind of got bumped off his route a little bit, and the DB just kind of beat him to the ball. When the safety came over and got to the ball. The second one, or the first one actually, was not the best of throws. Just not a good throw on an out route. Got picked off, taken back to the house. But the ball did move with Kyle Allen on the field a little bit. So there was a little bit of positive, but the turnovers kind of overrun that. And Hendon Hooker just didn't really do much of anything. A lot of running around, which seems to be the common theme with him when he's playing in these preseason games, is a lot of running. But for some reason, he's just kind of not letting the ball go. I don't know if he's timid. I don't know if he's anxious. I don't know if he's just not making the reads. Maybe guys he feel like aren't open, but like you kind of got to at least give him a chance to make a play. And Hendon just hasn't been throwing the ball a lot. So then we get to the second game, and Hendon gets the chance to start now and fumbles twice, which kills a couple of drives. One of them, which had gotten pretty far. I think they were in the red zone against the Falcons, and fumbled the ball, and again, just didn't throw for a lot of yards, a lot of kind of darting out from the pocket without things necessarily being settled. I'm not sure if he's anxious. I'm not sure if he's trying to rely on his running ability, but he just hasn't been sitting in the pocket and kind of going through the processes and the reads the way the Lions offense calls for it. And Kyle Allen, meanwhile, came in and actually performed really well against Atlanta. I believe he was 7 of 8 for like 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. He played really, really well in that game. So literally a perfect passer rating at 158. So Kyle Allen, then now everybody's like, okay, well, he looks a little bit interesting. Like maybe he can be a backup quarterback for us. So that's been the biggest talk. And honestly, it's hard to really judge off of 2 preseason games. It really is. But Hendon Hooker is not inspiring much confidence, and he didn't inspire a ton of confidence last preseason either. But I think that we all were hoping to see some progress, and honestly, it looks like it's gone a little bit backward. But Kyle Allen looks fine, I guess, serviceable. It looks like the ball can move, but you got to worry about those turnovers and that occasional bad throw. So, CB, I'm not sure if what you're seeing from the quarterback position, but what are you thinking?
So I'm thinking that Cal Allen, excuse me, third or fourth string. Hendon Hooker, I think we should probably look to move up off that one soon. But my problem is from both quarterback play that I have seen so far. I don't think either one of them are second string worthy. I think we need maybe a veteran, or I think we need to be looking elsewhere for a second string. Cal Allen, third string.
Yeah, I could see that take for sure. Yeah, with Hendon, I mean, he'll get a couple more chances to do something, but I do agree if he's not showing much with it, I'm just not sure what the Lions are supposed to do. I mean, maybe you could try and trade him. Maybe you keep him as like an emergency quarterback. I'm not really sure. Put him on a practice squad, but he just looks like I don't. If he's not going to throw the ball, then I don't know how much of a chance he really gives you to win. If he ever does come in and play, and that's the one thing about backup quarterbacks that we do have to be mindful of. Everybody's like, oh, we need a backup that could come in and replace some of the things that Jared Goff can do. Blah blah blah. That's kind of just not how the NFL works. Everybody thinks that, oh, if Jared Goff goes down and the Lions season is tanked, and more than likely, yeah, but that is true for pretty much every quarterback in the league. There aren't really any backups that can come in and do the same thing as a starter. And if there were, then either those backups would be too good and would be starters, or that starter probably just isn't very good and is almost a backup level player in the first place. So, yeah, the idea that, oh well, they need a backup quarterback that can come in and do what Jared Goff does, and I know you're not saying that, but I think in general a lot of people seem to say that. I don't think that that's necessarily what we need. I want to see what Kyle Allen has to offer these next 2 preseason games because I'm not gonna lie, I have been a little bit impressed. I mean, even he can move around a little bit. Obviously, he's not like super athletic when it comes to scrambling around, but he can make some plays with his legs. Um, and I do really feel like, again, in that Chargers game, the 2 picks are what people are discounting from him. And he did throw the interceptions. I'm not saying to overlook those interceptions, but the ball did kind of move. Like there was some routes where guys got open and he threw it. And that seems to be more than what Hendon Hooker is doing. So um, I think that Kyle Allen deserves a chance because the way he looked against the Falcons, honestly, that was really, really impressive. And if he can follow that up with another good game, who knows? Maybe he starts looking better in practice. I heard that he looked pretty good in training camp yesterday. So I don't know. Maybe he is that kind of veteran quarterback that if Goff was to miss like a game or two, especially considering the weapons that the Lions have, maybe he wouldn't look that bad. I mean, he's throwing to, Meeks and Jackson Meeks and a little bit of Tesla and some guys that are fine, but like throwing to St. Brown and Laporta and JMO, like maybe he will look even better. So I don't know. I'd say Kyle Allen might be a thing, but we'll see. And with Hendon Hooker though, yeah, if he's not gonna throw the ball, I don't know what you're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, Cal Allen can be third or fourth string so far. What I've seen. There are 2 more preseason games. I believe we play the 16th. So I guess we can check out those 2 games. I mean, I'm not going to put too much stock in the preseason games and the backup quarterbacks. I just hope that Jared Goff is healthy and he's ready to go pretty much every game, but usually he is. No jinxing, of course. But I think maybe we should look to get maybe another backup, but that's he neither here nor there.
Yeah, and I guess that pleads the question of what, like, who's another backup? Like, is there anybody else out there that?
Is Carson Wentz still available?
I think Carson Wentz might still be available. I don't know.
That's the only person I could really think of. But
Yeah, maybe if he's available, but I don't know. I worry with a Carson Wentz that he's very injury prone, but I mean, I guess as a backup, that doesn't affect you as much. But um, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see what Kyle Allen has a little bit more. I feel like he's got a pretty good arm, and I feel like throwing toward the middle of the field, which is how the Lions system operates. I think that he's pretty good actually at throwing over the middle of the field a little bit. So maybe he can make those reads. Maybe he can do some of those things. Anybody else that's standing out to you during preseason, either for good or bad? Anybody that you were looking forward to seeing and interested?
definitely wide receiver Isaac. I'm liking him so far. I know he had a touchdown catch against the Falcons. I like it. I like him so far. Big body,
Yeah,
6'4".
yeah, yeah. And I think he's an easy call too for that too because I'm almost wondering like because he's obviously going to make the team. Like that's not really a question,
Yeah.
but how much does he play during the regular season? Because we'll see what Tim Patrick is looking like. Obviously, Tim Patrick is the veteran, but Tim Patrick also has been dealing with some lingering injuries, and I don't know. I could see Tesla getting like some serious reps. Like he blocks, like he does a lot. There's still some things he has to work on for sure. As far as just things that I think he never had to do in college that you have to do in the NFL when it comes to getting off of a press and running precise routes and stuff like that. But if you could get him in a position where he gets an easy play, that run after the catch is legit. He also has a bit of a jump ball ability as well. So, I'm intrigued. I'm very much intrigued by him. I think a person that I found interesting and somebody that I had my eye on before camp even started, and I'm glad that they're kind of coming through. Is definitely Jackson Meeks. Um, I feel like just coming out of Syracuse, like looking at his film, he looked like kind of an NFL receiver. Big body, doesn't necessarily create the most separation, but is really good in contested catch situations. Can run routes pretty well. Decent speed, not like an elite guy, but you saw him catch a deep ball against the Falcons. So he can get behind the defense a little bit as well. He blocks also like he's a very solid player. Can play on special teams also. I don't think that he's like the standout on special teams, but can play on special teams. I like him. I do hope that he makes the roster. If not, I don't know if he's going to get to the Lions practice squad because with the practice squad rules, you got to cut a guy, and then if they don't get picked up by somebody else, then you get to add them to your practice squad. If the Lions don't add him to their 53-man roster, I could see another team being like, "We're interested." He reminds me a little bit, but I think he's better than Quintez Cephas from a few years ago, which the Lions had him around and he kind of was on the roster, had a chance, but then there were like a lot of injuries that came up, and then he had the gambling thing that he was involved in a couple of years ago as well. So he kind of reminds me a little bit of Quintez Cephas, but he has been really solid. And he played really well. He caught a touchdown as well as the 68-yard pass against the Falcons. So I'm intrigued to see him keep playing. I want to see Kyle Allen stay in the game because Hendon Hooker is not going to throw the ball apparently. So
I want to see Kyle start this game.
I do too because I want to see these receivers get a shot. They got a lot of bottom of the roster guys that are interesting. Ronnie Bell, I want to see get more shots. There's a lot of guys that I think deserve some more shots. If Dominic Levitt is healthy, I want to see him get some more shots. Like they got to have a quarterback in there that's going to actually throw to these guys and let them showcase who's better. Because there are a lot of intriguing guys that could be either a practice squad wide receiver or a sixth wide receiver on the roster.
The other kid from Boise State, Hassan. I don't want to get his name wrong. He looks pretty nice too. Pretty fast. He flies when he tackles you. A lot of energy.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. He's very passionate, plays very hard, which I like. The motor's always running, which is really important for a defensive end. He's played really well in the run. We'll see how he looks as a pass rusher as he gets more snaps, but as a run defender, I think he could play for the Lions, like as a rotational guy now. Obviously not a starter or anything like that, but I think that if you bring him in, especially on run downs, He can play like very, very much capably. So that's good to see that he looks like he fits in. Because I think a lot of people were worried about, oh, small-ish school. Boise State isn't that small, but smaller school, not a guy that's overly athletic necessarily. Will it translate? Looks like he knows what he's good at, and he's been playing well. Him and Nate Lynn as well has been really good as a pass rusher. He was very disruptive in his game against the Falcons. I think he had at least one sack. So it's good to see these rotational defensive ends because obviously the talk was we got Hutchinson, but then what else do we have? Obviously we got Marcus Davenport, but Marcus Davenport, the injury stuff, you just kind of don't know what you're getting there. But it's good to see that we got some guys that I think are worthy of being on the roster because I was a little concerned about their defensive end depth, but Hassan looked pretty good. Um, and Nate Lynn as well. So it's good to see that there is some more depth there.
Do you think the Lions are going to sign a defensive end?
I still think there's a chance they do get Zadarius. I really do wonder if like he wanted to go through the training camp and all that kind of stuff. Um, I think that if he does sign somewhere, it probably will be with the Lions, but maybe it won't be. I mean, you see him and Cash Doll apparently broke up recently, so maybe he won't sign with Detroit.
Oh, well, they just had a correction on that. She just retweeted like 20 minutes ago that she loved her man. So they back together.
Okay, so
I'm all depressed.
in that case, I'll say that it's pretty likely that that I think he will sign with the Lions at some point.
Hey, when we before we got on here, that's what she tweeted.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'm sure the internet will have a field day with that because they already were
they are.
today. Yeah. So I think Zadarius. I would like to still see him come back. I think it's a rotational guy. Even if Davenport is healthy, I think that Zadarius just brings you a little bit of extra, so you don't have to overplay a Davenport who is injury prone. That allows you to kind of keep his snaps a little bit lower. Yeah, I think that having as much depth as possible there is really nice. And then hopefully you can get Josh Pascal back and get Makai Wingo back and eventually Lee McNeil back. I think with a fully healthy defensive line, if they add Zadarius, this defensive line is damn near as good as anybody's. Like Tyleek Williams looks legit. He looks legit. He looks really good so far.
Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the defensive line, for more of them to get healthy and the new guys maybe signing Zadarius. I don't know. But I know like the fourth preseason game, we're probably gonna be looking to play more of that first and second team, right? Get Jerry Goff and them out there, get them going.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to play in the preseason. I don't.
I think they should. I think not the whole game,
Yeah,
but I think they should get some reps the fourth game.
yeah. I mean, I don't disagree about if they should or shouldn't. I think they should too, but I don't think that they're going to play. I don't think they played at all last preseason. I think the Lions are going to stay consistent with that. Um, I I think that the rookies for sure, like Tyleek and Ratledge, like they should definitely be getting reps in for sure. I think any of the young guys should be getting reps in. But even because he's been injury prone too. I wouldn't throw Terrion out there, but um, I don't think that they're going to play any of their main guys at all during the preseason. They didn't do it last year, and I don't think they're going to do it this year.
Yeah, I think Arnold dealing with what, a hamstring, I want to say.
Yeah, it's small, but it's like don't even like just let it be. Like I wouldn't put him out there until the regular season starts. So I'm intrigued though. I really am intrigued. I'm just in the back of my head. I'm like, when Aleem McNeil comes back, I think that this defense is going to be able to take the next step because McNeil is so underrated. And if you can have Hutch, McNeil, Reader, and then if it's Zadarius, if it's Davenport, whoever on the other edge, I think that's an elite defensive line. I really do. So I'm intrigued. You throw Tyleek in there, like I really like that as a lineup.
I agree, but our guys got to stay on the field. They got to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key. So I hope that they don't rush it with McNeil. Just let him get back, let him phase in. But he was so big last year. Um, but yeah, the preseason has just been intriguing. I don't. They're playing the Dolphins next, I believe. And they got open practice with the. They could have a joint practice with the Dolphins, I think, tomorrow and Thursday as well. So That should be really interesting, very interesting, because that'll probably basically be the preseason game is the open practices.
No fight.
Look, I don't see it as a thing where the Lions won't fight in at least a little bit during open practices. They I think they practice harder than everybody else almost. Like they're going to be really physical. It's kind of what they do. So I'd be shocked if St. Brown ain't in somebody's ear. If one of them safeties ain't coming up hitting somebody hard, like I'd be shocked. The offensive line with an extra little push, Panay Sewell going at it with people. Like I'd be shocked if there wasn't some extracurriculars in open practice. That's just they practice so much harder than everybody else.
Right. Well, if they want to step and mess with us, we gonna step back.
I agree. I agree. Haven't seen it firsthand against the Giants last year. I loved it. I mean, Dan Campbell called the practice early, but I loved it. It was a great time.
Now that was funny. Hey, they gonna find out about Detroit now.
Nah, for real. Though the Dolphins are not.
Find out.
I don't want to call the Dolphins soft, but I think that's the impression of the Dolphins. So maybe they won't fight.
Yeah, the Dolphins don't want none. They ain't like that. So our next game is the 16th
Yeah, I think it's Saturday.
Saturday at what time? I think it's in the afternoon. I want to say
Let's double check. I figured it would be an evening game, but maybe it's not.
I could be wrong.
Let's see.
Let's see.
It is an afternoon game. It's at 1 p.m. on Saturday.
1 p.m. Saturday. Okay. Yeah, I'm just ready for the preseason to be over so we can start the real season, baby.
Yeah, it's getting to that time. It is getting to that time. We're playing the Packers, which let's talk a little bit about how our NFC North foes have been looking. Because
they've been looking how they looking, okay? Because I still think it's our division to lose.
I agree. I really I have some concerns. So Chicago, I don't know. I don't know. It's so much being made about the Caleb Williams thing, about how he looks at practice and how he's going to take to Ben Johnson.
I'm not worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them, and I want to say I don't want to make it seem like it's more than what it needs to be because like it's practice, and it's preseason games and all that kind of stuff. But like I do sometimes believe that where there's smoke, there's fire, and I am wondering if Caleb Williams is just really struggling more than people are, or maybe it's struggling as much as people think that he is. Like it seems like he's not doing too well in practice, and maybe again the bad things are just being amplified because that's just the nature of what's surrounding Caleb Williams and his situation. But it seems like he just kind of is struggling to grasp certain things, and still making some turnover worthy plays and some bad decisions. And I don't know. I mean, we'll see what they look like come regular season because this could all be a mirage for sure. But I do have concerns about how he's going to look and if he's going to look improved. Um, Green Bay also, I don't know. Maybe it's just that there seems to be like hype, but also like I'm looking at their roster and I don't see it with them. Like something seems to be missing. I don't know if you're feeling what I'm feeling, but I don't know. Something just seems to be missing with them.
The defense is good, but I think that offense, I still think something's missing.
Yeah, I was watching Brick Coleman, YouTuber, of course, watching some of his content. And he was doing a preview on the Packers. I did not know that Green Bay had the highest run percentage in the league last year. Which makes you feel like, do they have confidence in Jordan Love? And then you see Jordan Love in some of the turnover worthy plays and the bad decisions and things like that. And it's like, I don't. It just doesn't. Certain things about these teams in the North just don't inspire me, especially when it comes to their quarterback position. And then you look at a team like the Lions, who kind of specialize in stopping a run. Like Green Bay clearly wants to run the ball, but you are not going to be able to beat the Lions just exclusively running the ball. Like I think Washington and Buffalo proved the blueprint for beating the Lions is to be able to throw the ball a lot and keep them off balance. Um, and I don't think that's what the Packers feel confident in being able to do. And then you got Minnesota, which obviously, again, big JJ McCarthy fan. I do think he's going to be good, but um, they're like the only team that I'm like, okay, I think this is legitimately a good team. I could see things going not well for Green Bay and Chicago. I don't know. See, the preseason has not inspired me very much.
Yeah, I know some people are really in love with Jordan Love and his talent. I know it's what, year three for him playing?
Mm,
Well, like officially playing. I thought
like
he
a
sat
starter.
behind, yeah, because I know he sat behind Aaron Rodgers, but I'm still on the fence. I don't know if I see it. I don't know if he can lead them to the NFC North title. I don't see it as of
Yeah,
this year.
yeah, and hearing the run percentage thing like makes me wonder, do they even see it? They did pick a wide receiver in the first round, Matthew Golden, which you know, I I don't know. I mean, Matthew Golden isn't like I didn't see him as one of the like elite receivers in this draft. Like if they had been able to get McMillan, which obviously McMillan went way before their pick, but like I think that the kind of game breaking wide receivers were probably Ibuka and McMillan in this draft, and maybe a couple other later guys. But um, I don't know. I can see Matthew Golden being a complete bust. I could see him being one of those wide receivers that just doesn't amount to a lot. Um, and I'm just still continuously seeing the same issue with Green Bay where they don't have a number one receiver. Matthew Golden, I don't think is going to be a number one receiver. Christian Watson's not a number one receiver, and I think he's hurt. Romeo Dobbs is not a number one receiver. Jaden Reed is not a number one receiver. They have these guys, and their fans will tell you, "Oh my God, our wide receiver room is so deep." Sounds good, but when they're all a bunch of number two and three guys, it's not really that scary. Like I don't know. I think Green Bay leaves a lot to be desired, and I think they're putting a lot of pressure on their defense to succeed. They lost Jair Alexander this offseason. Xavier McKinney had all those interceptions last year, but like he's not gonna have back to back 8 or 9 interception seasons. Like that's just not how interception luck works. So I don't know. I'm not very inspired by Green Bay winning a lot of games. This is a team I can see struggling more than people think.
Yeah, Green Bay. I can see him finishing third. I can see third. Minnesota. If JJ gels well with the receivers and that tight end, that run game is nice. I can see Minnesota finishing second again. I'm sorry, I still got the Lions finishing first in the NFC North. Take it how you want to take it. You want to get in your feelings, get in your feelings.
Yeah, I think Minnesota. I still think Minnesota is the team to compete with as well. I really do. They're coached really well, which Green Bay is coached pretty well too. But I think Minnesota has the best coaches besides the Lions. Um, I think that they have probably still the best roster. I think they get the most out of their roster. They got all those weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Like they can be interesting if JJ McCarthy really plays like how we know he can play. But the other two teams, I like I said, I'm a little bit worried about them. I thought that they all could be threats. I'm just not feeling Green Bay's energy. I don't feel it. And Chicago, I don't the Caleb Williams thing is just it seems like something is there.
I don't know with the Caleb Williams situation because I know last preseason leading up to his first NFL debut, there was a lot of hype, a lot of media coverage. Oh, he's not this, he's not that, he's ready for this, he's not ready for that. I don't know. I don't. That's why it's kind of hard to put a lot of stock in the preseason coverage with the starters, just based off of what we have seen from Caleb. I think he'll be okay. I'm not going to say elite, but I think he'll kind of be the same as last year. Now, if that offensive line, as they claim, improves, maybe he won't be the most sacked quarterback. I mean, the man was running for his life every play. So
Yeah, yeah, there is that. The protection and all that, the surroundings could be better. I'm just wondering, I'm starting to think like is he going to be a quarterback that cuz I think he'll succeed eventually, but is it going to be in Chicago? I don't know. I just, we'll see. We'll see when it comes to him. But before we jump off, I do want to talk about some
you got
other
some inside news. You say it will he be in Chicago?
I just feel like guys get run out of town pretty easily when it comes to being a quarterback, and I think that there's going to be a lot of pressure for him to succeed. And I think a lot of people don't like him for a lot of different reasons, whether it's football reasons or not. Um, and I think that if Ben Johnson doesn't succeed there, then him and Ben Johnson will both become kind of the scapegoats there. So we'll see. Chicago's going to have to show improvement this year, though, for sure. But there are also some other young quarterbacks around the league that I have found pretty intriguing during the early portions of the preseason that I've been able to see. Um, Bryce Young, I thought looked pretty good against the Browns, which obviously we'll talk about the Browns, but
Oh,
I thought Bryce Young looked really good. He threw with anticipation. He moved around. He looked really confident. Um, I was quite impressed, and I really am looking forward to seeing him have a bounce back season. Um,
did
I
you
don't,
want to end this episode and start a new one since we're on 30 minutes?
no, I just want to recap really quick. I just want to talk about these. I just want to get a few things off my chest, for things that I've been seeing around the league really quick since we haven't chatted in
Wait,
a minute.
I'm
Um,
listening.
yeah, so Bryce Young, very much impressed with. I don't know if you saw Cam Ward's performance against the Buccaneers, but I was impressed by him too.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, I think I think Tennessee has something there. And I will also say that Calvin Ridley is my fantasy sleeper, so don't tell anybody that. But I think that he's gonna have a good season as well. But of course, we gotta talk about our boy. Shador.
Shador.
Shador, yeah, Shador looked good. Shador looked really
I
good.
was cheering for the young boy. I was cheering for him.
Man, look, I I was impressed. I was watching it in Ohio too. I was in Ohio watching him play, and yeah, he looks confident, and I think that he can do all the things on an NFL field that need to be done from a quarterback. Mind you, he's not throwing to necessarily the best set of wide receivers since the Browns just don't want to give him first team reps for whatever reason. But uh, yeah, I'm impressed by some of these young guys. So just wanted to throw that out there because there are other things going on around the league, and I do want to keep my eye on some things. So Cam Ward, I think, is a guy. Definitely keep your eyes on him because it's easy to forget about Tennessee because they're just kind of boring. I ain't gonna lie, but I think he can make them really interesting.
Even I like Jackson Dart too.
He did play pretty good. He did play pretty good.
I liked him. Jackson
Yeah,
Dart, Shador, Cam Ward. Yeah, I like those three.
yeah. I think the Brian Daboll is going to try and keep Jackson Dart's confidence high and put him in a good position to succeed during these preseason games. He's not going to start the season. Russell Wilson will start the season. But I think that Brian Daboll is going to do a good job of trying to keep his confidence high, which is a smart idea. He's got all the abilities in the world. We'll see if he can put it together.
Question: who will start quarterback wise for the Cleveland Browns this season?
Week 1 it'll be Joe Flacco.
Okay, we still going with Joe Flacco. Okay.
Yeah, week 1 it'll be Joe Flacco. I think at some point they will probably hand the reins off to Shador. But I think
Why they got him fourth though? If they're gonna hand the reins to Shador.
I think draft position. I think it is solely draft position. I honestly do. I think the fact that they picked Dylan Gabriel higher, they want to give him a shot. I don't know what's going on in that organization with the decision to pick both of them. Somebody was clearly not on the same page about that. But I think that Cleveland will recognize that Shador Sanders is better suited to play in the NFL. Dylan Gabriel he's too small. His arm's not big. Like he's not necessarily the most athletic guy to make up for that kind of stuff. Like he hasn't run in a real NFL offense. I I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I don't. And I think that they reached for that pick. I think Joe Flacco should start because you shouldn't throw one of the rookie quarterbacks in against the beginning of the Browns schedule. The Browns schedule to begin the season is very, very, very difficult. So I think Flacco should take the snaps, and I think they should let practice go how practice goes. But I think if Shador is performing better, which we'll see in these last 2 preseason games, but I think if he's performing better, eventually the reins will go to him later in the season, and either it'll go to him as like a let's just see what he got, or to go to him as a we feel like he could be the future. We'll see what the Browns are thinking. We'll see, but yeah, I think draft position is why they got him fourth.
Yeah, Browns, I'm gonna just say this. I got on my Lions jersey, but Browns, let me tell you something. You better go with Shador. And the fans, to my opinion, have spoken. They want Shador. So that's all I'm leaving it there.
Yeah, the fans.
It ain't my business. I'm a Lions fan, but I'm gonna leave it there.
I think even the Browns players, they seem more excited about Shador Sanders. I think that they seem more impressed so far by Shador Sanders. I don't know. I think that it's honestly unfair to Dylan Gabriel to put him in this position where it's like, oh, well, we want to avoid all the distractions and blah blah blah, and then you put Shador behind him, knowing that Shador is better than him. Like he's a better prospect. Like we all know this. The NFL had whatever they were going on where they decided not to pick him up early, but everybody was in agreement. Every draft person that did any kind of draft analysis had Shador Sanders rated a decent amount higher than Dylan Gabriel. There was not a single person before the draft that was saying Dylan Gabriel will go in the draft before Shador Sanders. So I think the Browns recognize that Shador is better. He's a better prospect. He's a better player. And he's more suited to play in the league. I don't see it with Dylan Gabriel. I don't see one above average trait. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll see, Browns. I would hate to be a Browns fan.
Yeah, yeah. And then you got Kenny Pickett just randomly in there too. Like they need to go let him play somewhere else. Like it's just a hot mess. Like let him go be a quarterback, a legit quarterback too somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
hot mess. But that's all we got for y'all today. Wanted to get in some rapid fire around the league a little bit, but of course we'll be back to talk about the Lions game sometime early next week. Hoping for a really good matchup and some really good stuff to talk about from the Dolphins game. But I am signing off. CB, go ahead and close it out.
All right, y'all. This is CB. You can follow us on 411 Lions, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on TikTok for podcast clips at 411 Lions. We will see you probably Sunday, Monday. Peace.
Peace.